Welcome to Clear Picture Financial with Jason Noble of Prime Capital Investment Advisors right here in Charleston. If you'd like to check out the firm, it is Clear Picture Financial. But just about Jason, he has a whole lot of letters behind his name. Don't you? You have you have your FINRA, you have your CFP, your RICP, and you're a fiduciary. This is the most important part, I feel like, in addition to winning a very cool award. And this is from Advisor Hub 2023, top 5 advisors to watch out of 100 advisors, and only person on the list in South Carolina. So this is kind of a big deal. And you're going to have an event with the Advisor Hub folks soon, yes?
Yes, it's coming up here actually next week. And I'm going to be out there with the other top 100 advisors in the country. So I'm excited to meet them and understand some of the things that they're doing. There was thousands of people submitted.
Wow.
So to be in the top 100 is the hugest compliment. But being in the top 5, I'm sure I'm going to be getting a lot of questions, as you can imagine. But I believe in abundance and sharing what's available out there.
Sure, and we're so proud.
And having those
we're
conversations.
We're all so proud of you, Jason.
Thank you so much.
No, seriously, it's really great. Okay, so we are entering into a new season, and folks are excited about holiday stuff, holiday travel, but really this is the time to buckle down, back to school, all that stuff. Buckle down, not just about what's going on in the family, but your finances within the family. And this is a really good time to get your retirement thoughts and plan in order, isn't it? Because it is not going to get any better next summer, next fall, next holiday season. This is the time to make a plan and get with a professional to get your stuff in order. And we thought we would come up with some tips here to help us along in this discussion, including understanding your lifestyle expenses.
Yeah, well, tracking your spending over a few years prior to retirement to know what it's really like to take financially to fund your lifestyle is so important. Don't forget those non-monthly expenses like real estate taxes or insurance premiums, or even those one-off trips that maybe you take every 3 or 4 months or twice a year. Make sure that's budgeted in as well. And I think that's such an important topic that could be overlooked if you're not aware of it. So Make sure that you put that on the list to look at.
Yeah, and being aware of the financial costs that will change in retirement. People think your healthcare cost is going to go down, but it's probably going to go up as you age, more doctor's visits, et cetera.
Well, when you retire, some costs can decrease. Like what you would see is healthcare costs for those over 65 because of Medicare costs and things of that nature.
Right.
But mostly on the premiums and total out-of-pocket costs is what I'm talking about. Or even your commute to work, you're not going to spend as much money on gas or maintenance on the vehicle just because you're not using it as much typically.
Mm-hmm. That's
you
true.
may even go down to one vehicle, which is what I'm seeing more and more with my clients in retirement. But just as other expenses can increase, and those that can increase, right? So if you have more time, what are you doing with that time? Maybe you're eating out more.
Right. Spending your money.
Right. Maybe you're traveling a little bit more to go see the family members and the grandkids that you want to spend time with and see. Right. And I was just having a meeting yesterday and this came up and I said, hey, so visiting New York City to see your grandchildren, is that an essential or discretionary expense? He said it's discretionary. She said it's essential. Okay. So everyone listening knows it's now an essential expense because that's what she said.
That's right.
So, I mean, this is the topic of conversation I'm having on a regular basis. And if you're not having this conversation with your advisor and they're only talking about returns, this is where I want you to reach out so we can have a one-on-one consultation.
Another thing is creating your own retirement paycheck. It's time to, in retirement, start paying yourself.
Well, yeah. So you have your money in IRAs or even Roth IRAs, maybe joint brokerage accounts. But then how do you determine what accounts to take your money from and in what way is such an important thing. And you also have to understand how making those withdrawals can impact your taxes. Tax drag on retirement planning can be significant if it's not accounted for. If it is accounted for, then you can make a proactive choice and make adjustments so that you could be able to pivot and make a better informed decision. But this takes a lot of planning and is making sure that you do it proactively.
Sure. And another strategy I know that you talk to folks about every single day is the Social Security. Who's going to take it first and when and why?
Yes, again, this is an ongoing conversation I have with my clients. I worked at a firm saying you cannot discuss taking Social Security before full retirement age. That's shameful. I like to look at it on what ifs.
Right.
What if you take it at 62 versus 63, 64, all the way through 70? Like, what does that look like? And then I even would go into what does it look like for spousal benefits? Most people understand survivor benefits. That's when one of you passes away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking spousal benefits is something that you could be eligible for if there's a big discrepancy in both of your Social Security claiming strategies, what you could get while you both are living. It's often overlooked. And I got to tell you, I'm being careful of how I present this.
Okay.
I came across a client that I used to work with. And when I transferred firms, they decided not to come with me. That was fine. They came into the office and we met. And the advisor that they were working with told them to take Social Security in a certain strategy. But if they did that, it was going to cost them significant benefits in their Social Security benefits due to the spousal benefit. And it was going to be a $230,000 difference. Now,
whoa,
that was how big of a mistake this guidance was. Now, that meeting, we were able to get it corrected and file paperwork with the Social Security Administration office to get it fixed.
Oh, good.
But if they would have met with me just 4 months later, it would have been too bad.
Too late.
Too late. So we say here in the office, too bad, so sad, right?
Right.
We actually got that from one of our clients, Donna. But no, what I'm getting at is when you take Social Security, if you're a married couple, you can't take it in a vacuum. You got to look at it holistically and how all the other things are coming into place.
Sure. Thank you for saying that. It is true. You have to look at that holistically because some people are like, I'm 62. I'm going to start firing that Social Security. Well, it just depends. So that's why you need to get in to talk to Jason Noble because he really is a fiduciary. He sees everything. He wants to have the holistic view of all of it for you. As we're going down, or should I say up in age, how about we approach the required minimum distributions from these accounts, the IRAs, et cetera?
Most people are somewhat aware of RMDs, required minimum distributions, but it used to be 70 and a half, and then they changed it to 72. Now it's 73 through 75, depending on what years you were born. So I'm talking to those who are facing it sooner rather than later. At 73, you got to do a calculation from the prior year balance in your retirement accounts, your IRAs, and you have to take that money out. It's a requirement. So let's say the RMD is saying you need 50,000. But in reality, you need 30,000 to live the life you want to live. What do you do with the excess of 20? Well, if you don't take it out, right now it's a 25% penalty.
Oh, so you got to take it out.
And you got to pay taxes on it.
Right.
So it's both. It's a double whammy. So instead, what you could do is you could do what's called a QCD, a qualified charitable distribution.
Ooh.
And you won't have to pay any taxes on that nor the penalty. And that's if you're charitably inclined. Let's take a look at that. Another thing you could do is you could take that $20,000 that you're not spending and you could put that towards a joint brokerage account. You got to pay taxes on the distribution, but the money could go into the joint and that could be used as emergency savings or other long-term growth investments. So you got choices, but if you don't do it, you could get in hot water quickly. So it's important that you have a well thought out strategy and a plan for your required minimum distributions.
Good. Let's talk about that bucket of money that folks are going to need, maybe for unexpected expenses. I mean, you want to set aside some money that's pure liquid or really close to liquid, yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, so if you're working and you have that emergency savings of 3 to 6 months of expenses, I get that people get this often wrong. They think it's 3 to 6 months of income. No, it's what you're spending. So that doesn't change when you go into retirement. In fact, I have some clients go higher than 6 months of expenses in their retirement. because they have something coming up rather soon. That's going to be a larger expense that we know about.
Okay.
And so we would go higher than the 6 months of expenses in those situations. But this is where it comes down to communication between the advisor and the client to making sure we're on the same page. And then as the advisor, it's my responsibility to explain why I'm looking at doing this, how this works, and how it'll play out. And I gotta say, I had a compliment yesterday where the couple, when they left the office, she goes, I came in with anxiety, and over the course of this last hour, I have confidence. I know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. Just thank you so much. She had tears in her eyes and she gave the best hug, Jackie. So Kleenex. It was a great meeting. It was a great meeting.
Kleenex moment. That's good. But that is what you do. And say maybe a little bit about how often you meet with clients.
Oh, I meet with my clients as often as they need to meet, especially if they're going through a major life situation. It's so important that I'm there with them to help them navigate that. That could be a loss of a job. That could be transitioning into retirement. It's tough when there's a loss of a loved one. Mm-hmm. And also divorce, right? I mean, major life events, I got to be in meetings and making sure that they have another pair of eyes helping them navigate those different situations.
Sure, because that could become an emotional decision. Well, I just want to throw all the money this way or throw all the house this way, or right? Widows, well, anybody, widow, widower, divorcee, divorcee can be, this very emotional.
Yeah. So major life events, I don't put a number on how many times we need to meet. We meet as often as needed. However, okay, if we're just living life, right? Nothing big is going on. Typically, I'm meeting with my clients anywhere between 2 to 4 times a year.
Okay.
And Jackie, they determine if they want to meet with me 2 or 4.
Great.
Right? They make that determination, not me.
Depends upon what you're serving. I'll be there 4 times.
That's right.